Three, two. Welcome to another episode of the Rock Fantasy Files, and I'm here with one of my new friends, Gabriel from Unto Others, and his band used to be known as Idle Hands. We'll talk a little bit about that too, but it's a where they had to change their name, and they're one of my favorite bands. I love the new release, which is entitled Strength, which came out recently this year. And what did that come out in October? No, September, correct?
Yeah, September 24th.
So Gabe, welcome to the show. And we're going to talk a bit about this new album today. And you guys are actually heading out on tour. And this album Strength came out in Roadrunner Records. I wanted to throw that out, but we're here with Gabriel Franco, and he's lead vocals and guitars of Unto Others. I guess let's start off with let's talk about the frustrations of building up a fan base and then having to change your band's name from Idle Hands to Unto Others. Between having to change your name of the band and having your tour with Mayhem Abbott canceled due to the pandemic, it would seem if 2020 was a bit of a struggle and a little tougher on you than most.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say we got hit, super hard. Everyone else did, too. So I don't want to cry too much about it. But yeah, it was a pretty, I said it when it happened. I was like, man, this couldn't have happened at a worse time. It seemed like our momentum was just off the hook. Basically, like we just got done with that King Diamond run. We were working on signing to Roadrunner. We had the Decibel magazine cover and the Decibel tour. Like we were just primed and ready. Yeah. We even had like eight dates where we were just direct support to Danzig in Europe, like just
wow.
And I was like, we were freaking out about that. We were opening a fest for Judas Priest and shit like that. And nice. So it was like, all right, shit's happening. And once 2020 is over, like we're gonna push it this year, and like 2021 is gonna be this fucking insane year for us. And of course, we all know how that played out. But
sure, now it's next year hopefully, but
yeah, but like so you could say, oh, this is really bad timing, but looking back, it could have been a lot worse. So I'm grateful that it happened when it did, because had the pandemic happened at the same time in 2019 instead of 2020, I probably wouldn't even be talking to you. Like we did so much groundwork that year. Like we would have, it would have been the most devastating thing ever. So I'm glad we got our year to get our name up there and at least establish ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I can remember, talking to you, because me and him have traded emails and stuff back and forth, and actually I bought some merchandise from you for the shop, from my record store.
Yeah.
I can remember it was like, I hope you guys make it to New York City. And you're like, yeah, we're going to be around New York City in November. So I'm looking, at like the small clubs, St. Vitus and stuff. And here you are on tour with King Diamond and like Brooklyn's biggest like venue, King's Theater. And it was amazing that you got that slot with Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. And it was a great show. I drove down and checked it out. But
thank you. Yeah, those venues on there, I think King like told the booking agent or something to pick the most ornate fucking theaters, because 90% of the places we played, we were playing, like here in Portland, for example, we played at a place called the Schnitz, Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. That's where like orchestras play and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never thought I'd be playing that venue. I'll tell you that much. And so that's probably the coolest part of that whole thing, right after, it being King Diamond, of course, is that we got to play venues that I honestly don't know if we'll ever play those places again. I'm just glad I got to knock them off the list. You know what I mean?
It's like, because most metal tourists don't even go to those venues, those buildings. Yeah, for sure.
No way.
So let's talk about Strength, and let's break down this amazing, I call it amazing, new album. Maybe we'll go track by track, talk about a few of the songs, and we'll chat a little bit about the meanings behind some. And Heroin kicks off the album. It's catchy and heavy. It's got that real heavy kick into the start of it, and it just flows. I mean, this whole album flows, like I think just like Mana did. It's an album you don't want to skip a song over, in my opinion.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Let's
much.
talk about the song Heroin in a little bit.
Well, I originally wasn't going to have that one on the record.
Oh,
I wrote it and I was like, because I fuck around all the time. Like, I'm kind of like thrash metal is probably my favorite like subgenre of of metal in general.
okay.
And so, when I just really need to get some frustration out or something, I'll usually just sit around and just fucking let a fast drum track go and just riff over it, and that
Mhm.
was the product of that. I was doing that one day and I'm like, oh, this is sweet. And I wrote a whole song out of it. But I was
Mhm.
like showing it to my wife. I'm like, man, it's too heavy for idle hands or unto others, as we are now. But
Yeah.
he's like, no, fuck that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. All right. So we put it on and I'm like, I wasn't even thinking it's going to be opener, but then someone else suggested to me, my old booking agent, he's like, you got to open with that. You got to open with, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's actually a pretty good opener. So, yeah, that's, for how it ended up on the record, that's what happened. But like lyrically, it kind of just relates to a lot of shit I've seen growing up here in Portland, Pacific
Okay.
Northwest. I've had a lot of friends and
Of course.
people within my degrees of relation kind of go down that path, homeless, drug addict kind of shit. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the lyrics fit over the aggressive nature of the song. So
It's definitely a great tune. Downtown, which you guys shot a video for. It's a song I can't get out of my head. I get it in my head and it stays there. It's one of those songs. That's what I mean. If you haven't listened, if the viewers haven't listened to Onto Others, check them out. I mean, every song to me has got a catchy. I don't know why my house is dinging here, but every song has got a catch to it, I think, and it's catchy, but yet it's heavy and it's melodic, and I mean I love it. But Downtown, let's talk a little bit about that.
I don't actually remember writing that one very much. That was
Oh,
more of
really?
like, yeah, that was, I guess, okay, now some things are coming back. I was writing a different song and
Okay.
it was kind of like a Judas Priest almost. It felt a lot like Breaking the Law.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, and I was like, okay, this is kind of like cool, kind of older Priest kind of sounding thing. And then I had that one riff, the chorus riff from Downtown, which is
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, that's cool. That's got to be its own chorus. Like it was originally going to be a bridge or something. And I was like, nah, no, that's a chorus. So I moved it over. And in that same project on my, writing system, I was like, I just finished Downtown and the lyrics, they're pretty fucking straightforward, I think.
I don't want to be me, and
Well, it's more of just like the simplicity of it all, just walking around and just like kind of trying to get away, having your headphones in and just not really wanting to talk to anybody.
yeah.
So,
It
yeah.
reminds me a little bit about something that maybe Jonas Rensky would write for Catatonia. It's kind of like, I want to be invisible. I just want to go and be left alone. And I feel that
Yeah.
vibe from that.
Well, and of course, every time you want to be left alone is when the most people seem to bother you. So,
It's like when you go to the gym, you put your headphones on. Hopefully people are going to leave you alone, right?
yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
walking around when I'm down. And I just think it's very catchy and another great song. And then another video you guys shot was When Will God's Work Be Done, which is another song that I just listened to the album this afternoon before I talked to you. I was out walking the dog and around the neighborhood, and another song that once you get it in your head, it's going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you.
What went into that song? A little
That
bit.
was shit. That was another one just like Heroin where I was like, honestly, I remember just being extremely hungover and
Okay.
I was like too hungover to do anything else. Like I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't play video games. Like my brain, I could not focus on anything. I was like, oh, but for some reason I can play guitar when I'm in that state. So like I just sat down and just started writing it and it came out 2 hours, lyrics, guitars, pretty much everything. The only thing that came in kind of later is that crazy ending section with all the gunfire and the war and stuff. That was something I was doodling around for like a couple hours and I was like, whoa, this is wicked. So
It's fucking excellent. Yeah. Sorry, excuse my language. I guess I can swear on my own vlog.
Yeah, and I don't mind.
What went into the meetings behind that a little bit? You're just kind of like frustrated with what's going on in the world, and like, God's supposed to
No,
straighten it all
no,
out.
I don't try to get too political about anything, to be
Yeah,
honest.
okay.
I
Makes
think
sense.
there's two sides to every story, of course,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, like with that one, I had just been watching a lot of Vietnam documentaries.
Okay.
My dad's from Vietnam.
Okay.
We're not like blood related, but he raised me.
Okay.
But yeah, he's from Vietnam. He was a refugee. His
Oh.
father served in the military. His father was like a colonel, so they were pretty well-to-do family when they were in Vietnam.
Oh.
But yeah, like I was raised by him, and so I had an innate interest in the country and the war. And growing up, it's always fascinated me. So
Okay.
yeah, at the time, I was just really, I think Ken Burns had just put out his Vietnam documentary, and I was watching that over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one's kind of like, yeah, there's a message there, of course, but like you can take it how you want. For
Okay.
me, that song's that's more of about this, the My Lai massacre. You ever heard of that?
I'm not really too familiar with that, but
It was just kind of like this dipshit commander,
mm,
went in and killed like 500 innocent Vietnamese people. So it's loosely based on that.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So and like it's just kind of inspired by that. It's not about that. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's a song that, like most of my songs, I'm like, man, just listen to it, take it how you want it. Like,
Use
if
your own
I
imagination.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If I explain it to you, you're not gonna like the answer anyway. So
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
and here's I've got the CD case here, of course.
Sweet. Yeah, nice.
Just people
Yeah,
that,
I can't wait to see that thing on vinyl.
me either. Yeah.
Yeah.
And vinyl's not out yet, right? I'm kind of confused. I see it like pre-ordered and it says like early next year. Is that true, or is it
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I was kind of irritated about that a little bit myself, because the label on their website didn't really clearly state that when people were purchasing the pre-orders.
Hmm.
And there was no like, it just says ships April 25th. There should have been a massive disclaimer saying like, due to global supply
Bullshit.
chain
Yeah.
shortages, this will not ship till this date. And so I had them put that in later. But
So we have to wait a while for that.
exactly, yeah. So
Too
it's like,
long.
yeah, I know, almost too long. Luckily, people have been cool and seemingly patient.
Sure.
It's just something that's out of our hands. When people
Yeah.
go, oh, why so fucking long? I go, hey, I could have just sat. I mean, if you want, I could have waited to put out the album until
The
next
whole
May.
thing. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, just because I'm waiting on vinyl, to me, that's ridiculous. So it's like, sorry, we got the CD, we got the cassette, we got the digital. It's out.
Yep.
Because by the time the vinyl comes out, I'm already going to be half done with the next record. And it's
True.
like, we'd have to push that back too. You can't base your decision makings around one
And of
product.
course, this is on Roadrunner now, which you've signed with a major label, which is great. Congratulations. And
Oh, thanks.
now the vinyl is also available from Eisenwald. So still, is that like for Europe, or is that like?
Yeah. He worked out a deal with them where he can still do our deluxe vinyl releases.
Okay.
And they're pretty much like, yeah, go ahead. So he'll be doing that for, I think, the albums that we were originally contracted with him for, which was Mana plus 2 records. So Mana, Strength, and then the next record. After that, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be doing deluxe stuff anymore, but
Will the Eisenwald ones come any sooner than the Road?
yeah, slightly sooner.
Okay.
February 25th. So about 2 months.
Okay, good. I ordered one, so.
Okay, yeah, and
I would love to I know, like you'd love to have the vinyl now, and I'd love to have them on my shelves, but we're doing what we can do, and it's like that with a lot of things right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I went to go buy some shoes for tour at like and I had to search all over town, no store, and I mean, all the shelves are starting to look empty everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, yeah. So whatever.
Well,
But
if it makes you feel any better, I still have not got a copy of the new Cannibal Corpse record in my store, which came out in like April. So
oh
it's
no
not just
shit.
your band, it's just, there was some made, and once they were out, that's it. And now you gotta wait forever to repress them. So
Yeah.
we'll talk a little bit about some more of the songs, I guess, like No Children Laughing Now. I think that's another stronger song from the album. I really like that a lot. I mean, we don't have to go over every song. I mean, some songs that I think that I mentioned a lot of ones I feel like Little Bird, I think is very good also. Why and Just a Matter of Time are all strong songs.
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to add on any of those, or we'll leave it at that.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, Why was probably one of the ones I was most excited about. But yeah, I didn't really want to push that one as a single. I didn't really. I think actually we were supposed to put that out as the third single instead of No Children.
Okay.
But I was walking around and I was like listening to No Children, and I'm like, no, this one's got to be the single. Like, this is.
It's good.
Yeah, I think that one is.
So
I think of all the songs on the record, the ones that are going to stick around in people's head, I feel like I'm getting the vibe, at least, is probably God's Work, Heroin, and No Children. And we'll see about the rest. But
I mean, is there a video? So you're saying that is there a video coming out for No Children Laughing, or is it already out?
No, there's no video. I'm not going to do another video. We might do something for Heroin, but honestly, like, the thing is, like, I got to fix this, but I'm not a huge visual artist,
Okay.
Like, I like making music. And it's pretty much what I spend 90% of my time doing when I'm not, doing clerical band shit. But like, trying to create a music video without the proper resources, even if you have like 20,000-30,000 bucks to make a music video, that's not very much money
a lot
for
of
a
money.
cinematic output. You know what I mean? So like, like if our budget was like $1 million to make a music video, I'd be like, okay, here's what we're fucking doing, but I never really liked having to do small budget music videos where things kind of get compromised. I mean, there's cool ways to do it. There's definitely bands that have fucking nailed it, like Red Fang, like with their video Wires. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah.
One where they just spend $5,000. I fucking love that shit. Like, Blink-182 actually did that in the early 2000s.
Red Fang, is that the one where they're like driving through a pinball machine? They're like,
yeah, and they drive through milk cartons and
yeah. That was a great
not beer. Yeah, they stop for the beer, but yeah, like, but
like
yeah, and then like they did that with like a $5,000 check, and it's like super fun to watch. And I was like, hey, I know this. They took that. I don't know if they took it, but Blink-182 did the same thing in like 2000.
Yeah.
Except with $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
So that video is super fun to watch. The rock show video. They like, pay some lady $10,000 to shave her head, and like, they drop a Ferrari from a crane, shit like that. So you're like, okay. Yeah.
And then, of course, just rounding out the album, you do a cover of Pat Benatar's "Hell Is for Children," which kind of threw me off. And I see that's one of the ones that's getting some of the most listens off the album as I look on something like some of the streaming services. But what got you in the head to do a cover and to pick that one?
Well, honestly, I didn't want it on the record.
Okay.
But the label put their foot down and said, we're not compromising on this one, so I said, okay, fine, put it on the record. I was never planning on having that on the record, specifically because I already have another song called No Children Laughing Now. So to have children, I was like, it makes it look like I ran out of ideas. Two, all of my favorite classic records, minus a few, but like from Metallica and Iron Maiden, they don't have covers on their records. Now, Judas Priest is the exception. They have the Green Manalishi, they have Diamonds and Rust, they have,
and they did them kick ass. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like Metallica's obviously covered songs, but like
later
not on their actual release.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so like I'm totally down to do covers, records, stuff like that. But like I kind of would prefer in the future that our releases are our releases. But yeah, like it came out really cool. We thought it was a great cover. You know, we you know, it's not like I'm unhappy with it. I was just like, I
Okay.
would rather put another original there.
Sure.
And I think for me, I don't know, we'll see how time goes with the streaming stuff. It is top right now. It got placed on the most playlists. I
Oh,
think
okay.
it was put on like, you know, out of our songs, it was like Heroin got put on like 25% of our playlist stuff, and like, but Hell is for Children was like pitched to every single playlist by our label or somebody, I don't know.
Sure.
So it just ended up on all the things. I think they're, you know, maybe somebody's trying to go for like a, you know, a cover explosion, like an Alien ant farm type thing, or like, you know, or like that band that covered the Cranberries, Zombie, right when Dolores died.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I don't know what the thought processes was there, but I would have preferred the originals that were promoted, but I'm biased. I'm the artist, you know, so
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Summer Lightning is another track, and then Instinct, and then we finish off the album with Strength, the title track.
yeah.
Yeah.
And those three songs are some of my three favorite songs on the record, actually. Strength, I just love that one because it's fucking weird.
Okay.
To me at least. Like
Mhm.
it's another one kind of like God's Work, where, you know, the chorus has no words in it. It's just a piano. So I liked that. And then the outro is just a very weird, almost like studio production, basically, you know, just it's something that we've done at practice, we pulled it off, but that was created in my head and executed in the studio. And we have to relearn it as a band if we're going to play it live, because there's a
Okay.
lot of like back and forth vocals bouncing everywhere and gang vocals going off and shit. And then, you know, I like to put little Easter eggs in the albums and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, Mana was the last song on Mana, Strength's the last song on Strength. They both end with some, you know, fucking like Tom roll thing right there. And so
And you got to slip the new name of the band into a song. The two
exactly.
others.
Yeah. Well, and that was kind of like, oh, it just works there. But yeah, like
Yeah, it did.
threw that in. So
Which you had used another one with Idle Hands with I think that was on Mana. If I'm
yeah,
yeah.
maybe I'll get to change our name for a
Let's
second
hope you
time.
don't have to change your name again. You
Yeah,
know,
I'll just change our name.
build up the blocks. It's like playing Jenga, and knock it all down and start over again.
No, I think if that happened, we had to change. I mean, that wouldn't happen. We own the trademark and all that shit now. But like,
What happened with the actual Idle Hands? I talked about in the beginning of the interview, but was there another band that had that, or is it?
yeah. So there was another band from
Okay.
LA that had the trademark. Some older man. He was like, you know, in his mid 60s or early 60s.
Yeah.
And I contacted him, you know, like saying, hey, we really like the name. We're super active. We want to buy it from you.
Sure.
He immediately just sent his lawyer to me.
Okay.
The lawyer was like trying to milk me for every penny I got. And kind of just like, you know, we'll how about we license it to you? You know, so I'm like, what? Yeah, and we'll just collect a portion of your money for the rest of your life. I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever, get out of here.
No, that's not great.
Yeah, so stuff like that, and you know,
So you had to do it.
It didn't work out, and basically, I mean, I wouldn't even gone about the name change had we not signed to Roadrunner. It was signing to Roadrunner where they're like, you can't sign to our label unless you own your name.
Okay, sure.
Because they got way deeper pockets. You know, they're a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. So anyone who's sue happy, like potentially the
Of
people
course.
with the Idle Hands name right there.
Of course. And then if you do become much more popular, of course, that's when they're going to want to sue you for even more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy cash. So we had to change it. And with Unto Others, there was someone else who had the name too. The crazy thing is, in this day and age, it's not whoever owns the trademark. Just because there's no trademark on it in the US trademark database doesn't mean it's fair game.
Oh,
if there's anyone I think what qualifies is whoever released did interstate commerce with the name first. So if you
Okay.
go on Spotify and there's one other fucking person named Unto Others and they have 5 plays, but they put out an album,
Oh, geez.
and because it's digital, it's technically interstate commerce.
Oh, wow.
Right? So literally any name you fucking find on Spotify, if they haven't a release out, you lose. You wouldn't get the trademark. You might not, or you very likely not to, at least. So with ours, that was the case. There was a band called Unto Others, and they weren't even on Spotify. They had a web page with an embedded player on it. And I hit them up. They were from Reno, and they were cool. I was like, hey, can I buy this name from you? And they were like, first, they thought I'm some kind of scammer or something.
Sure.
I'm not a scammer. I want to buy the name from you. And they agreed. So we got the name we wanted, luckily. So
Excellent.
yeah.
So you're getting ready to embark on a North American tour, and I believe it starts on Halloween.
Yeah, this Sunday. It's kind of speeding towards me, actually. I have so much to do before then.
Yeah, we're taping this on a Thursday, so yeah, we're a couple days before, and you're embarking on this North American tour, and you're actually headlining, correct?
Yeah, headlining. It'll be our first headlining tour in the United States.
And who do you got on the road with you?
Bloodstar from Salt Lake City. The guitarist is a member of Visigoth as well, Jameson Palmer.
Oh, I love Visigoth. Love Visigoth.
Yeah, and their bassist Noah Hadnut plays live bass for Visigoth from time to time. And the other two, they have a drummer they're just bringing on I haven't met, and their singer Maddie is pretty cool. So yeah,
I need to check that band out. I've heard of them, but I haven't listened to them yet. And what songs from the new album are you planning on performing on the tour? Is that something you want to keep a secret?
Oh no, I mean, I don't really care. I'll let's see. We're probably going to do about an hour 15 minutes. It's going to be it's going to span every release, but it's going to be really strength centric. Without going into song order and all that shit.
Very awesome. Yeah.
We'll be playing the ones you want to hear, very likely. And we have some covers in our back pocket if it's a crazy night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll be playing No Children Laughing Now, Summer Lightning, Heroin, God's Work, shit like that. You're also going to hear stuff from Mana, like, Nightfall and Jackie. I don't want to promise anything to anyone listening, of course.
Okay.
Because, we might amend and abet and change and add and whatnot. It's kind of a fluid thing. So, yeah. And, if the crowd's going nuts and wants another song or something, we got a lot of songs. So we'll just whip out a few more, back pocket kind of stuff.
And, interesting to hear that you've got some covers in your back pocket. I would what other than Pat Benatar, I've never heard you do a cover, because I've seen you once, but you're opening for King Diamond. Obviously you used all originals when you're on that tour. What are a couple of the covers that you guys would do? I would love to hear some, but of course, wondering what kind of artists you would cover.
Well, I mean, a few, it's like, we were doing really, it's we got like London Dungeon by the Misfits.
Oh wow. Yeah.
For the Halloween show, we're obviously going to do Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, you will, for a couple of Misfits tunes. Cool.
Yeah. We actually were jamming King Diamond's Halloween too, but we're like, dude, we're running out of time. This one's way more complicated. Let's just stick with one Halloween. Yeah, and then like Pet Cemetery by the Ramones.
Nice.
And, that's probably the ones we'll pick from right now. We have like dabbled in a few others over from time to time. Like we had at one point we covered the Wipers. Fuck, what song was that? No Fair by the Wipers.
I would totally love to hear your version of London Dungeon or Halloween. I think just to hear your voice performing, because I think you have such a unique voice in the business.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, and we did I Don't Want to Be Me by Typo Negative.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would love to hear that one too.
Yeah, we haven't jammed it in long enough, so we won't be whipping that one
Yeah,
out.
not whipping that one out, but you
But
got
yeah,
the stuff you guys have just been jamming in your practice.
yeah, like we got such a tight unit with the band these days that
Mhm.
like we just what we'll do a lot of times if we're not like strapped for time is we'll just jam, and we've gotten it down to where like we can write full songs just by looking at each other. We know where to go next. You just watch where each other's going, and we figured it out. It's kind of fun to just sit there and mess around with the songs. So
You also released a 7-inch single recently
yeah,
entitled "I Believe in Halloween,"
yeah.
and that was is there I looked on Bandcamp and it looked like the vinyl was gone.
Yeah, the orange vinyl is gone in the USA. There's a few left in Europe, I think.
Okay.
We still have like 175 of the black vinyl. People seem to hate black vinyl for some reason.
I'll listen to any vinyl if I can get it, especially like we were just talking. Sometimes we got to wait months to get it. So if I don't care what color it is, it'll all spin on my
Yeah.
turntable, right?
Well, that's the thing
Yeah.
is like, like it's like if they can get a colored vinyl, people are gonna take it. I've found out, but it's like, well, what if I did no black vinyl? If I just did orange and red, like, would
Yeah,
you?
that's too colored for now. And
Yeah, but it's like, oh, nobody wants to get stuck with the black vinyl. I'm like, well, I'm doing a black vinyl because it's fucking Halloween and it's orange and black still. You got, so
yeah,
yeah.
the label's orange. Black
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's black and orange. It'll be
and
cool.
orange.
It all fits together, and the layout's super cool. Like we pay, you know, pretty hardcore attention to detail with all of the
Mhm.
releases. So
I
there's
actually
good
sold out
layouts.
of my first initial shipment of your Strength CD,
Oh
and
yeah,
luckily they
nice.
restocked them at my one stop, and we got another load in today. So, even
Awesome.
CDs sometimes I'll see them run out, and
Yeah.
you wait forever for it to come back in. But luckily they filled the slot again for us, so we've got it in the shop again. So I've been selling quite a bit of it. A good friend of mine that does the channel, his name's Nick Franco. He went out to you guys actually played the Psycho Las Vegas over the summer, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was we actually did we did a little episode last week talking about albums from this year that we were enjoying, and several guys brought up your band. So I think it's just something that's taken off still, and I wish you all the luck in the world on this tour. Hope everybody stays well and you guys all kick ass on the road.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm excited to start heading east again. It's always like
Mm-hmm.
we play Salem, then we play Seattle, and we're kind of still in our neck of the woods. You don't really feel
Sure.
like where yet. But once you get over, you start heading to Boise, Salt Lake. You're like, okay, now we're on tour.
You're getting out of your own backwoods there.
Well, there's no more going home. So you feel like you're on an adventure for sure.
What was it like now? Everybody in your band's local enough where you could get together during the pandemic? Because I talked to so many bands that had somebody in a different state or a different country, and it was really hard to practice. And they had to do a lot of stuff on FaceTime and Zoom, you know.
Yeah, we all live in the Portland metro area. Our
Okay.
bassist lives in Salem, which is about 50 miles away, but
Mm-hmm.
he's a trooper. He understands how it works, and like he fucking rolls up twice a week for band practice, sometimes
Cool.
3 times a week. So
Cool. So I guess we'll wrap this thing up. We're running a little long, but it was great to have you back on the channel. I'm a big fan and I love your music, and I'm hoping I can spread it out to a few more folks. And
much.
are you playing New York City on this date? I didn't
Yeah,
go.
we're doing Ridgewood. It's like east of Brooklyn. The thing about this tour is like we couldn't book it until the Behemoth tour canceled,
Oh, so
right?
wait a minute. So you were on a Behemoth tour too?
Yeah, we were supposed to be opening for Behemoth and Arch Enemy in Europe right now.
Oh,
We
wow.
would we would have been yeah, it was supposed to start September 28th.
Hmm.
So we would have been almost wrapping up the Behemoth tour right now. And that
Okay.
was like arenas and shit.
Wow.
But that got postponed again for the second time.
Of
And
course.
so we couldn't start booking this thing until it got postponed, which was like August 1st. So we had,
Hmm.
or my agents had 3 months, and everybody and their mom is booking tours right
Oh,
now.
of course. Yeah.
So it's, you know, you're talking about the backup with supply chain and shit. There's a backup with venues and bands.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just across the board. Luckily, we were able to get in, but you'll see like the tour has quite a bit of like, we're not playing in Cleveland, we're playing in Akron. We're not playing in Detroit, we're playing 30 miles outside Detroit. We're not
That's yeah,
playing,
okay.
you know, like, and with New York, like we're not super far. Ridgewood's just east of Brooklyn a little bit, but like, you know, it's like it's kind of a destination concert.
It's
for a lot of,
Ridgewood, New York, then, not because there's a Ridgewood, New Jersey too. So I'm a
oh
little,
yeah, Ridgewood, New York.
maybe
It's
out in the, is that on the island maybe, or is it?
yeah,
It's
no,
actually,
no, it's not. It's like if you're in Brooklyn, you just go east. It's like a neighborhood or a small town.
oh, okay, okay. I should know since I'm from New York, but
It's
I'm about an
basically
hour
Brooklyn.
north.
It's basically Brooklyn. But yeah,
Mhm.
like some venue called TVI, so that should be fun.
Okay. Yeah, you should do well, and let's hope you guys just do great, and hopefully I can have you back on the channel down the road. And if you guys like what's going on the channel, please take a moment to hit and subscribe, and go check out Idle Hands website, Roadrunner or whatever, and we'll put some liner notes in the show notes so you can go out and buy some of their merchandise and help support the band. Even though they're going on the road now, doesn't mean they haven't been suffering. You just heard they lost like major tours. They're a young band, and all the bands need our support right now in this business.
Thank you very much.
All the entertainers. All right, so any last words?
Thank you for having me on the show. We're touring the US starting in a couple days, and you know, over on the East Coast specifically, we'll be in New York, Boston, and Baltimore and Philly. So you know, if you can, check out a show, and yeah, see you there.
Buy these guys a beer, buy them a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt from them. Don't buy them. Oh, you can buy them a t-shirt too if you want. But all right, guys, thanks for dropping in.
Yep, thank you very much.
Boom.